Hey, welcome to That Shit Was Poetic, where we touch on all things poetic, like music, poetry, art, movies, quotes, and famous poets. I'm your host, Nikki. So let's get into it. How are you guys? I hope you all had a beautiful week. I had a beautiful week. I got some exercise in. I went to Kenneth Hahn and I had a great walk with a friend of mine and we had a really good time. We had good conversation and we got our exercise in. What else did I do this week? I've been working on my podcast, just researching for you all listening. So I hope you are enjoying thus far, what I've been bringing to the table. If you have any ideas, on some things that you would like to hear on my podcast, you can email me at thatshitwaspoetic@gmail.com. I got a new mic, so I'm happy. I have not gotten it hooked up quite yet, but I'm excited to use it. So that's really excited to use this mic. That's been my number one thing that I've been thinking about, trying to hurry and get this microphone set up. But in the time being, I hope you guys are enjoying the content that I'm putting out. I've been having a lot of fun with this podcast. It's been really, really fun. I must say I look forward to, you guys tuning in with me every Friday. I really do. I'm really enjoying researching. I'm really enjoying putting out content, and I have not been in love with poetry for a while. It comes and goes with me, but right now it's here, and I can't say for how long, but I'm enjoying it right now, and I'm putting it at the forefront from a lot of other things. But I do have a lot of other things going on. I have some new business ventures that I'm researching and hopefully will be able to bring to the table pretty soon. But yeah, so I'm excited. I think this year is, even though we're going through a lot, I still think you can still put your all into making a better you. That's what I think. We can still work on ourselves. So that's what I've been doing. I'm constantly creating or putting something out there. Something is always popping into this Gemini head of mine. But I just want to say, you guys, it's never too late to work on yourself. If you have some things that you're struggling with, get to the root of it, Get to the root of it and try to work through it. Pray about it, write it down, journal, get it out, and start working on it. I also want to say, too, that I've been hearing a lot of people and a lot of situations about people struggling with anxiety and depression and things like that due to COVID-19. And I'm just, it's really upsetting because this is a serious time for us, but at the same time, you can't let it take over and you can't let it win. We're going to take a very short break, but we'll be right back, so stay tuned. Today's podcast, and I got another special guest, and so happy. You guys don't even understand the level of happiness that I have for this guest today. Her work, I just discovered her work, and I found her on Instagram, and I reached out, and she was, kind enough to allow me to be able to interview her. And it's really cool because the month of April was National Poetry Month. So we kind of ended it with a bang, with me having her on my podcast and being able to share for you guys, even though I know, you know, today is May 1st, but you will still be able to hear her interview, and that's dedicated to National Poetry Month, which is in the month of April. So we went out with a bang. So I'm looking forward to you guys hearing that interview. But that'll be coming up really, really shortly. So thanks for rocking with me. Thanks for, supporting me. So continue to tune in every Friday on That Shit Was Poetic, where we talk about all things poetic. Again, if you have some ideas that you want to share with me, inbox me on Instagram, That Shit Was Poetic, or you can email. So I'm looking forward to all of those things. I did get the opportunity to work with another young lady this week. She reached out to me on Instagram, and she's putting together a group of young ladies who are all walks of life, who all enjoy poetry, who all write poetry. And I'm going to be a part of that. Hopefully I'll be able to share, that experience with you all pretty soon. So that's something that I'm working on. So I got a lot of things going on, with this in this poetry world, and I'm so excited because I'm putting it at the forefront. I'm manifesting. I am just, you know what? I'm putting it all out there, cuz right now I think I'm really loving the space that I'm in when I'm in touch with my poetic side, and I'm working on, my poetry. I'm listening to poetry. Like, my mind just seems so much clearer. Um, I don't know. It's a feeling that I really can't explain. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into the interview. So, hope you guys enjoy this interview. So, definitely stay tuned for that. Going to take this little short break, and when we come back, we got that interview jumping right off. Hey guys, welcome to That Shit Was Poetic. Thanks for tuning in. We have a special guest in the house today calling in, Ayanna Albertson. So I'm so excited to have her on the line today. Yay. So hi Ayanna, how are you today?
Hi Nikki, how are you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. And
Awesome.
hopefully your week has been going well.
It has. It has. It definitely has.
Okay, that's good. So, first of all, tell us a little bit about your background, Ayanna.
Okay, so yeah, I'm originally from a small town called Goldsboro, North Carolina. Um, I left there in middle school, moved to Maryland, and but ended up moving back to North Carolina. I graduated from Hillside High School in Durham, North Carolina. Went to college in Alabama at Oakland University in Huntsville, Alabama. Um, And as it pertains to this, that's really kind of where I found it started to like hone in on my craft of poetry with a group called Art and Soul there. Um, and I graduated from Oakwood with a degree in broadcast journalism with a minor in public relations. Kind of dabbled in that in every sector I could, from TV to radio to content writing, and kind of just figured out my own career path in regards to that. And yeah, moved back to North Carolina after graduating, and really kind of just have been, still figuring out life. But I do write. I write for a nonprofit called Community Change. I also have a salon suite in Raleigh. I have a cosmetology license. Yeah, so I'm out here hustling, but
I see. You sound like, you got a lot of things going on.
Yeah, I do. But it's just a way of me kind of like just making sure that I feed into the things that I like and my passions, and not really trying to settle and do anything else. So
yeah,
and then I'm a poet. I'm a poet.
Absolutely, and that's why we're on the line today.
Right. Right.
So tell me, you said you named the nonprofit that you work for again.
Community Change. It's based in
Community.
DC.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. And how long have you been doing that?
It's been 2 years. It's been
Okay.
2 years now. And I love it because it's a nonprofit that really it works to empower communities of color and low income communities. So everything that we write about impacts those communities, whether it's something that we're trying to get them to just be informative about, or kind of give them some insight. Everything we write about, from politics to things that are happening legislatively to things that are happening in communities, I like it because it makes me feel useful for my
Absolutely,
community.
absolutely. And that's something great to be doing, especially with, all the things that we have going on in
Right.
today's world. So yes, it's amazing.
It
But
definitely is.
tell me a little bit. You said you went to school and to college in Huntsville, Alabama. You went to a
Mm-hmm.
HBCU, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
give us a little bit about your experience in college.
So honestly, it was very random going to Oakwood, because a lot of people don't even know about it. It's a private HBCU, but it's a Christian HBCU also. So it kind of was one of those things. I had already known about it because it's technically a Seventh-day Adventist college. So I knew about it because that's my religion. But I had no plans on going. Anyways, long story short, it's July. School starts in August. I was actually enrolled in UNCG in North Carolina. Um, and then just randomly went through my letters. I felt like, it was some divine intervention going on as well. And
Mm-hmm.
I just said, I'm going to go to Alabama. And the experience was honestly the best experience I could have ever had, honestly. I definitely feel like that was aligned with my purpose, with God's will for me to go, because not only like the experiences that I had, like as far as like just the collegiate experience,
Mm-hmm.
but because it was a Christian school, it really kind of helped me to like garner and really tighten up my spiritual life. And not that it made me like, perfect or nothing like that, but it just was like daily reminders, like,
Right.
and things that I realized I wouldn't have got elsewhere. And I feel like I feel like that's important. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. Huntsville itself is a very nice, growing, developing city. Being from North Carolina, I wasn't, it's not like North Carolina is a big, huge New York, so
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't too much of a change. Now, granted, when you get to South Alabama, we start to change it a little bit. Of course, you would know,
Exactly. I'm
but
originally from Dothan, Alabama, and it's crazy
Dothan.
because I never visited Huntsville, Alabama. It's so
Uh-huh.
crazy, I know. And I definitely never heard about, the college that you went to. So this is,
Yeah,
it's always good to learn new things, especially about, the place I grew up in, I was born.
yeah.
So
About how
that's
far was
amazing.
it, Dothan from Huntsville? I feel like I've heard
I
of it
believe
before.
I believe Huntsville is maybe like 2-3 hours,
Okay,
if I'm not
okay.
mistaken. But don't get me to lying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I never been to Huntsville. I've been to,
Interesting.
Montgomery, Birmingham, like all over, but I've never been to Huntsville.
Right. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, so we got a few things in common. Like I told you before, my middle name is Ayanna, so
That is
I'm glad to be talking to
so
someone else.
beautiful.
I know, another Ayanna. And I have a high school friend. We're not really close or anything, but she also does poetry, and she's a writer, and her name is Ayanna as well. So that's
Oh
pretty
wow.
cool. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
Ayanna's like to write.
Yeah, triple A squad over here.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
love it.
do you have a stage name that you go by, or do you go by Ayanna?
I go by Yana. I go by Yana Albertson, actually. I went
Okay.
through that whole phase, when you become a poet, you go through this whole thing like, what am I going to name myself? What are people going to call me? And I started to look at my friends who had really cool names that I felt like fit them, but I cannot find anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very like particular and meticulous when it comes to things like that, like because I know that that's something that has longevity, right? If I come out with
Exactly.
this name, I can't just like, I mean I can, but it'll be, people will still refer to me as whatever I came out with, or whatever it is my name when I hit a
Right.
certain level.
So,
So
and sometimes people outgrow, a stage name or a name that they've
definitely
given themselves, and you can never outgrow your original birth
my
name.
original name. And that's what I said. I
Right.
said, I'm going to just stick with my name because I don't want to hate it 10 years from now. or 20
Right.
years from now. Yeah.
Well, I think that's beautiful. So, where do you pull like your inspiration from when you're writing?
Honestly, life experiences, like
Mm,
just like really being in tune with myself, a lot of self evaluation, a lot of observation. Um, when it comes to other people. But everything that I write about and everything that I even draft is based off of either an emotion or an experience that I
right.
personally have. So
Wow. How would you label your poetry?
that's a good question. I think I always tell people I am simple but substance. And so, what I mean by that is, I know there are so many poets who are like English majors and things like that,
Hmm.
and they use such grandiose words, and it's just like,
Right.
oh my gosh, what word? Hey, what's that mean? And I'll be going to the
Right.
dictionary like, oh, that was a nice word to use. And it was a time where I felt like I needed to do that because it sounded cool, but I really realized that there's a lot of art and beauty in simplicity. And so I say I'm simple, but substance. It's like I have something to say, and what I say is valid, and what I'm saying is necessary, and what I'm saying is real and raw. But at the same time, I'm going to say it in a way where people from different walks of life are going to understand it. And so
Definitely.
that's kind of what I would
I
label it.
definitely agree with you when you say, you're necessary, very necessary. So I'm gonna just go
Right.
ahead and put that out there.
Thank
You
you.
know, everybody
Everyone,
has a
yeah.
different style, and I've even struggled with that myself. Like, you know, reading other people's work and listening to their work. And
Hmm.
I've just gotten to a place, I'm 36 now, and for a very long time, I didn't like, speaking my poetry. I didn't like
Hmm.
putting it out there, but it's something that always stuck with me. So I got to a place where it's like, okay, you know what? This is what I like. And if other people don't like it, it's okay. I'm doing this
Sure.
for me because, this is a part of me. So I definitely can relate with you on that.
Right. It's almost like the altar call at church. You know how with a pastor or a preacher or anybody be like, just one person. And that's kind of what our
Mm-hmm.
poetry is. It's like it's just for that one person, you know?
Right. Right. I read that you wrote a book called Black Woman in Water. Is that correct?
Yes. So
Okay.
I have a book called Black Woman in Water, but I keep calling it my baby book because it's like not an official book for me. It's a booklet. And people keep telling me not to call it the baby book, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just because when I had a lot of features going on and I realized I needed merch. So I kind of like pushed it together. I wrote some new things in it. I definitely did, but it's only about 12 pages long, the full book. So it's my little baby book, but I'm very proud of it. I love the name. I'm very particular about how things look and aesthetic. So I'm proud of my
Mm-hmm.
little baby book.
You should be. You should be. It's yours. It's your work of art, and I'm proud of you as well. How can we
Thank
find
you.
that book?
So on Instagram,
Okay.
I started a brand called Passion Over Popularity, and so it's really about what we were talking about before about being necessary and saying what needs to be said versus what people want to hear, or saying what needs to be said
Mm-hmm.
versus what's popular, and that's how we come up with the name Passion Over Popularity. So on Instagram, the name is Passion Over Pop, and up there is where you can find the book on that Instagram page, and it'll kind of walk you through what to do because I have a site being like pending, but I don't have
Okay.
an official site, so that's how you'll purchase it.
Okay. Okay. So tell us about your win in your Women of the World Poetry Slam. How was that for you?
Honestly, it was so unexpected. And I know people usually like hear stuff like this, especially people who win things. But when I say it was really unexpected, it was very unexpected. Do I mean that as I didn't think I was going to do well when I first got there? No. But the way the competition was going, by Friday night, I counted myself out. Not like I beat myself up. I was the most happiest person in the competition. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, I'm still excited for all my friends who were still advancing. But the way that it works is you get ranked Thursday night, you get ranked Friday night, and those who are in the top 14 of those ranks of the 96 women, it's the top 14 of 96 women, they go on to Saturday. I did not rank high on Thursday, and it wasn't because I did bad, it's just people ranked higher than me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just knew from Thursday that I wasn't gonna make it. It was literally Saturday morning, about 3 o'clock, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. My roommate at the hotel, she started screaming, "Oh my God, yada yada yada!" And it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm asleep, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
startled. My heart started beating off fast, and she's like, "You made finals," and I'm just looking at her like, "Are you drunk?" Like, like she really scared me, and I'm just like, "What do you mean I made finals? That don't even make sense." So she was like, "Go check, go check, go check," and I went to check, and it didn't say it on my end. She was like,
Mm-hmm.
"No, it has to be, it has to be." So I didn't see it. She said, "Check your email." So I checked my email because the organizers of the competition will send you an email if you made it. And I definitely had an email saying I made it. So I'm like, what the heck? So
Wow.
I go back to the website and I refreshed it, and that's when I saw it. So it
Wow.
was a great experience. Finals was amazing. Um, and I just from the top 14, I ended up second.
Wow. Congratulations on that. That's
Thank you.
amazing. Have you ever done any major poetry slams like that, or was that your first?
So that was my third time at the Women of the World, but the Women of the World is
Okay.
the only national poetry slam, the only individual national poetry slam that I attend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'll do other things like the national NPS, which is um, a group, but it's a group based national slam. So this is the only one I do that's individual.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank
That's really
you.
exciting news. Is that it is National Poetry Month. How important is National Poetry Month for you? And is there anything special that you do in particular?
So what's so crazy is as a poet, I feel like there are a lot of things that other poets do and other poets know, or hold to high esteem that I just kind of brushed over for so many years. So honestly, up until about 2 years ago, National Poetry Month, I didn't even know it was a thing. That's so sad. But like 2 years
Yeah, no,
ago,
it's not. It's not because you know what? I just found out about it. Like I really did.
okay,
And I was like, you know what? That's crazy. But you know, when something is just a part of you for so long,
hmm
it's like this is something that you do. So it really doesn't have to be recognized because it's you every single day.
that's
You know
real.
what I'm saying? Like it's almost like just being black in America. Like
Yeah,
we don't need a month to tell us that we're black. We live this every single day. Yes, you know, we should be talking about the great leaders and the people who fought for us, but at the same time, it's like we live it every single day.
right. That's
So
real.
so I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I had no idea, but so about 2 years ago when I found out, it might have been like 2018, 2017, maybe 2017. That's when I started to write. I did the whole 30 for 30 thing. Last year, I began to slack. This year, honestly, this year, I have not felt like writing.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know if it's like a mix of like quarantine, anxiety, and depression, plus the fact that it's National Poetry Month. But I have not felt like writing, so I've only written twice this whole month.
Wow.
Um, but I have like listened to poetry. I've been
Hmm.
reading some stuff. A lot of my friends have participated in the 30 for 30, so I'm constantly giving like feedback and praising them for what it is that they're doing. And I think it's okay though. I think that's okay.
It's
Um,
definitely okay.
yeah, I had somebody like, "Oh my gosh, why you're not writing?" And I'm just looking at them like, my creativity period is not um married to poetry,
Hmm.
so I've done other things like besides poetry. I'm over here TikTok dancing,
Right.
but
And that's creative.
yeah, I've been
I'm on
thank
TikTok as well. And I love it.
you.
I love the app. I swear to you, I love the app. Like my family have been telling me like, what's going on? Like, what's up with all these TikToks? So that's part of being
It's like an
creative. So
outlet.
I get
Yeah, it's an
it.
outlet. I do hair, so I was doing my hair. I did my mom's hair.
Hmm.
I've been painting. So, different things like that. Like, it's not stuck to one thing. And I think that's what sometimes people tend to push on you, that you're
Yeah.
supposed to be this one trick pony when they've only seen you in that light. But it's like, no, I'm
You made up of many different things, you
absolutely,
know?
absolutely.
I think people have to learn how to accept, when someone gives you another piece of them,
Right.
because it's a big thing when you sharing, your different parts with the world.
That's very true. Yep.
And like you said, people sometimes get blinded and only can see in one direction,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to see anything else that someone is trying to offer to them. But
Right.
I'm a person who has many different layers, and I find that a lot of people sometimes have a hard time accepting those other layers.
Oh,
But I keep
yes.
doing me. So yeah. But let me ask you, I did hear you say, you struggle with a little bit of anxiety and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like what do you do, like especially with the pandemic going on in the world right now, all this craziness that we have going on? What do you do to kind of like pull yourself away, or just to kind of get yourself to a place of, okay, now I got some sanity?
Okay. So honestly, since I do definitely think I have some bit of like a COVID anxiety.
Okay.
Anxiety that has been brought on by this situation. And it's
Hmm.
not even like I'm afraid to like, contract the virus. It's not even that. It's literally how it affects me in my life. So,
Hmm.
honestly, the TikTok was literally the first thing I did to kind of combat that. I go on drives almost every day. If people stay in their house, I can't do it. And I'm not an extrovert by any stretch of the word, but I'm an introvert who likes to do things by herself. So that means like I'm not in the house, but I'll go to the store by myself. I'll go to the movies by myself. I'll go eat by myself, and I'm constantly moving, but by myself. So that's like
Hmm.
how my introversion works. And so I don't want to stay in the house, like, by myself and do nothing. So I go on a job every day. I go work out. I run outside. I walk outside, and honestly, even outside of COVID, working out helps a lot with my anxiety, because it's kind of hard. I don't always like to say, oh, I have depression, but I do say
Right.
like sometimes like, oh, I am experiencing depression. I am depressed at this moment. And that's kind of like my way of like not really giving, like not taking ownership of it. Like, cause it's not
Hmm.
mine. It's something that is trying to, you know, attack me in a sense.
Right.
So, yeah, when it just comes to dealing with that, I just have to keep moving in some way. And I'm not gonna lie, now I'm not always successful in trying to combat it. Some days I just let it have its way. I just let it have its way with me, and I just lay in my bed and I just cry. I just get in the shower and I
Yeah.
just cry. But on days where I am, mentally strong enough to combat it, I do.
Well, thank you for sharing that, because I know, it is a sensitive subject,
Oh,
and a lot
absolutely.
of people don't like sharing. But I always, if I hear something like that, having this platform, or, with my podcast, if it's something that can help someone else that's listening, you know,
Absolutely.
it could be a takeaway for someone else. But I don't want to hold you too long, but is there any possible way that you will be able to bless us today with a piece, maybe an old piece?
Sure.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. I've been so excited about this interview. You don't even understand.
Yes. Is it okay if I do a newer piece?
I I'm excited for any piece.
Okay.
So yes. Okay, go ahead and introduce the name of your piece and just
Okay.
jump right
All
into it.
right. The poem is called Lineage. So here it is. In this family, we always clean up nice. Make sure the house is properly kept, the laundry folded, the linens fresh in this house. We good at putting on a show, of making sure people don't see our mess, our mistakes, our stains. We good at fixing, at refreshing, at filtering the flaws that only these walls have witnessed. How we good at putting things back where they belong. Like a child in a child's place when she wonder why that man keep coming in her room. We good at sweeping dirt under the rug, of cramming our skeletons into the closet. How we vacuum the stench of abuse from out these carpets and call it cleanse and spot free, sparkle clean. And mama say, you better not leave them beds unmade. Better fluff them pillows like they new. Like they ain't never been used to swallow these tears, like these sheets ain't full of conviction and comfort at the same time. You see, for a long time, Black families been shushing Black children into secrets, shaming them from sharing what lurks in the shadows, like monsters, like molesters, like mommy's cousin, like daddy's demons. How we always chastise them kids for just being kids, but spare the family rapists that spoiled the child. How reunions are only reminders that what happens in this family stays in this family. How grandma's secret recipe has always been forgetfulness, like she don't remember all them times grandpa became a magician. How he make a whole family from another woman's womb, but this family clean up nice, care more about what others think than what the victims in this bloodline feel. How she would rather fold into herself than have uncle lay her out again. How nephew would rather hang himself in a closet than to come out of it. And ain't that the family tradition? Trauma. How we pass down this hurt like hand-me-down threads. How Sunday dinners ain't quite the same when you forced to break bread with your abuser. How we always call on the Lord but forget to cast out those demons. In this family, we are a lineage of lost childhoods and stolen innocence. How we never talk about it even though we know it exists. How this family name alone holds a multitude of sins, but when guests arrive, when the doorbell rings, the lock undone, and the outsiders come in, you could swear on your low down great great grandfather's grave that this family was perfect. Thank you.
Wow. That shit was poetic. I love it. I love it. I love it. Like you gave me
Wow.
chills. Seriously, you gave me chills. Like that's I'm
Oh.
speechless right now.
Nah, I feel it though.
Because a lot of that you spoke about is the things that,
Definitely.
we're facing every single day in this
Mm-hmm.
world, and it's deep.
Yes, it really is.
Wow. I'm just amazed at, like, you know, how you word your poetry, how you pull from everyday life, how you pull from, the things that Black
Mm-hmm.
people struggle with, like your passion when you're speaking. That's the thing that amazes me. So I just want to tell you,
I
I'm a
appreciate it.
fan. I'm glad I ran across your page. I'm glad I found you. I'm just
I
excited.
appreciate it. No, seriously, I love just being on platforms, anyways, and I love when people are doing anything things that are pushing poetry and pushing the voices of others and amplifying the voices of others. So I appreciate you.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
very
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you. So tell my viewers, how can we find you on social media? Just let them know all about how we can, follow you and look
Yes,
forward to your
yes.
new
So
projects.
I am on Instagram and Twitter as Untouchable Yan, Untouchable, the way it is supposed to be spelled, YANN. I am on Facebook as Ayanna Albertson. I am also on YouTube, two different YouTube pages, but one is Passion
Okay.
Over Pop, and the other one you should be able to just type in Ayanna Albertson or Sincerely Yan. Same YANN situation, and it should be able to come through that way.
Okay, great. And do you have anything popping off soon, or anything that we can look forward to?
Currently no, but in well, actually in May, I'll be judging a poetry slam, a virtual poetry slam. I think that'll be cool. It'll be 3 weeks. And it's called Poetry Battles. And you should be able to find it on Instagram at Poetry Battles. So they're doing like a 3 week poetry slam, and I'll be a judge for that. As far as like me being a poet, not anything specifically
Hmm.
anytime soon right now, but if you follow me, I'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm definitely following, so I'll be following everything that you're doing from
Okay.
now on. Okay, thank you, Yana, so much for blessing my
Thank you.
podcast. I know my viewers will be happy to listen to your poetry, and hopefully, they'll follow you and track everything that you're doing, because I'm a fan. Hopefully my viewers will become fans. So
Thank you
thank you so much
again.
again. I really
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
So, guys, we have made it to 10 fabulous weeks. It went by so quick. I cannot believe how quick 10 weeks came. And I'm so, so excited. I want you guys to share in my excitement by please downloading the Anchor app and hopping on and, sharing your thoughts on how you either liked my podcast or if you got some takeaway from it thus far. Hop on and leave us a voice comment. I really want to hear your thoughts. So thank you guys for listening. So thanks for tuning in to That Shit Was Poetic. I'm your host, Nikki, and tune in every Friday for new episodes. To check out our old episodes, follow That Shit Was Poetic on all streaming services, Spotify or Google Play. Or follow us on the Anchor app to leave a comment. To be featured in our podcast, email or DM us on thatshitwaspoetic@gmail.com or follow us on Instagram. Thanks for tuning in.